Life itself is a strange concept, especially on an individual level. If you were to ask various people the question of, what makes you happy or what makes your life fulfilling, I'd imagine you get a different and nuanced answer from every single one of them. And there might be some similarities, but none of the answers would be the exact same. I too ask myself this from time to time. Is what I'm currently studying for and dreaming of really going to make me happy? Stardew Valley is a simulation RPG that was released in February of 2016. Seeing as how its release coincided with my graduation from high school, I felt it would be appropriate to talk about this week as my collegiate career comes to a close as well. From an outside perspective, Stardew Valley looks fairly simple. Its graphics are nothing special, and there are so many simulation sandbox video games out there that one would be forgiven for overlooking this particular title. It's not particularly complex in its gameplay, and there isn't a compelling plot or overarching narrative. In a world where it seems like spectacle is far valued over nuance, and the end result valued far over the journey of reaching that end, Stardew Valley broke that trend for me. And no, I'm not just talking about the games industry, though Stardew Valley is a video game. I'm also talking on a human level. Stardew Valley has sold over 10 million copies across all platforms as of January 2020. An amazing feat when you consider that the entire game was developed by one man alone. That includes the coding, graphics, soundtrack, gameplay, world, so on and so forth. In many ways, Stardew Valley pays homage to several games that have come before it, like Harvest Moon and Animal Crossing. The gameplay itself echoes his development process. Create, move on to something else, go back and recreate, create again, move on, recreate. In my opinion, Stardew Valley is a monument to the power of creative aspiration and passion. The developer, Eric Barone, also known as ConcernedApe, had this to say: "When you're playing it, I want every moment to be full of joy and wonder, and to bring back the kind of magic that you may have felt when you first played video games." There's something innately thrilling about the concept of discovery and learning. And though both of those words are usually received unfavorably, especially in the context of education, people discover and learn every day. It's just that these words aren't usually used. I don't really remember how I stumbled across Stardew Valley, or why my high school senior self thought it was a good idea to buy it a month before finals, but it will always remain one of my favorite games of all time. I play a large variety of games. I've been a gamer for nearly my entire life, and I'm proud to say that I'm a gamer. Though I wasn't always. I've played some critically acclaimed games like Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 and the first Last of Us. So why is this simple-looking farming simulator one of my favorite games of all time? After all, simulation games are, well, a simulation of real-world activities. Whether of plain daily life, a sports competition, or a humble farmer's beginnings. And in Stardew Valley, there's this innate charm that I can't quite describe. Each moment of progress felt absolutely incredible. At the beginning of the game, your aging grandfather gives you a letter, telling you to open it only when you feel crushed by the burdens of modern life. And as you grow older and work for a corporation, it's clear that this is not the fulfillment you've been seeking. If you're reading this, you must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I'd lost sight of what mattered most in life, real connections with other people and nature. So I dropped everything and moved to the place I truly belong. The farm that Grandpa gives to you is very messy. Debris litters the ground, wild grass grows uncontrolled, and the grounds are unkempt. The process reminds me of a lump of clay. It looks rather plain, unusable, and unappealing, but in the hands of a skilled potter, and with a bit of heat, it can be molded into any shape that they choose. In a nutshell, that's what Stardew Valley is. While there are certainly some quests and tasks that the game gives you throughout, the day, the game, your farm, the relationships you develop, and what you do in the game is entirely up to you. It has this very relaxed and laid-back nature. Each day often brings new discoveries and progress. A new species of fish, the harvest of the first seasonal crop, the finding of rare minerals or artifacts. These discoveries are made through daily life. Additionally, the game slowly adds more nuance as the player progresses. The landslide in the mountains is removed, granting access to the dangerous mines. Provided you upgrade your axe enough, you can enter the hidden forest. You start with basic plants like parsnips, but eventually have the ability to raise animals like chickens, cows, pigs, and goats. You have the ability to make artisan goods like cheese, mayonnaise, and wine. But you're not forced to do anything you don't want to. Want to do nothing but fish for the whole day? Go right ahead. Want to explore and forage for berries and other various items? Go right ahead. Want to venture into the mines? Go right ahead. Want to organize and arrange your farm how you'd like it? Go right ahead. Each day is a day of possibility, exploration, and growth. And I find myself wondering, why can't I approach my days in real life the same way? I get the feeling that ConcernedApe developed the game much like its gameplay, and what I mean by that is in how it starts out with farming as the initial gameplay and gradually branches out to mining, fishing, and combat. He mentioned in several interviews that he did not intend for Stardew Valley to become what it became. He originally planned for it to be a simple project, but over time it expanded and continued growing bigger. And this is evident in the villagers that you get to interact with. Pelican Town is full of interesting people, 12 of which the player can choose to engage in a romantic relationship with. From young children to the elderly, and every age range in between, the town has a wide variety of unique individuals. Some may have similar interests and aligned schedules, but none are completely alike. Not in appearance, hobbies, likes, dislikes, schedules, or personalities. Some characters have deeply personal issues. Strained relationships with their parents, alcoholism, the want for a change of scenery, absentee parents, the exploration of boundaries that are seemingly beyond their reach. I'd imagine a number of players felt deeply intertwined with many of the townsfolk within Pelican Town. And granted, Stardew Valley is a simulation, but I find myself extremely impressed with how it emulates many aspects of real life. I find the concept of the in-game relationships that the player can develop with the villagers to be the most intriguing part of Stardew Valley. On a scale of 0 to 10 hearts, the relationship is measured. 0 being a complete stranger, to 10 being best friends. If a player really wants to be friends, and especially a best friend with any of the villagers, they have to be persistent. And it takes time. Time is a weird construct. Sometimes we want it to pass quickly, sometimes slowly. Sometimes we wish we had something to occupy the time. Sometimes we wish we had more time. Once in a while, I fall into one of these slumps. When I think about my life and how I've gotten to this point, I feel a lot of regret in the way that I handled certain relationships. And there's a variety of reasons for the regret. I made a poor first impression. I just didn't feel like trying anymore. I didn't give the relationship enough time. The reasons go on. And while Stardew Valley isn't real life, I would say the way it handles the building of relationships and friendships is quite accurate. They take time and effort. I can't go immediately into knowing people. I have to spend days, weeks, months getting to know them before they're willing to talk to me and be vulnerable. And Stardew Valley is no different. Whether creating a farm, growing a plant, developing a friendship, I'm reminded that anything worth doing takes time, effort, and dedication to bear fruit. I thought for a long time on what I was going to write for this particular video. What I could say. Stardew Valley made me feel the joy of discovery again. It reminded me of childlike curiosity, as I feel like I've reached a point in my life where this joy seems often absent. I think we all need a reminder like that once in a while. Stardew Valley reminds me that if, perchance, one day I am feeling worn out by the burdens of modern life, I too can regain this joy that I've been missing, this innate thrill of discovery, this feeling of human connection that I've been longing for my whole life. And I can really give it no higher praise than that. If you made it to the end of this video, I'm grateful. I've been thinking about how to make this video on Stardew Valley for a few weeks now. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, consider subscribing to my channel or giving the video a like. It really means more than I can say. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time.